Hello, I'm Max Balegde.
And I'm your boy, George Clarke. Congratulations on making your way onto this video. Welcome to the Useless Hotline, by the way. We're currently on tour in a bus of all sorts of vehicles. TikTok wasn't really working out for us, so we decided to set up our own little business.
Mm-hmm. And here we are on our personal coach. We now sell coaches.
We do. Sort of transport, life coaches, whatever sort of coach you need.
Yeah.
Cockroach.
Okay. Also, there's a special guest here today, which you might not know about, but there's
here
actually...
he is now. It's Tom.
Yeah. There is a fly that's flying around our bus, and it's making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So just be wary of that, guys. You might think that I look a little bit dishevelled. That's because I am.
Well, I personally think you look shevelled.
Oh, okay. Is that a thing? No.
Well, if you're dishevelled, then surely shevelled's a thing, right?
I don't know, maybe chivalrous.
You're getting so shevelled right now. I'm getting so shoved up.
Right, let's talk. So the reason why, I mean, how many days into tour are we now?
We are on. This is currently the 15th.
15th day.
No, we are currently. This is 14th of May, which means we are
10 days.
8 days in.
It's the 15th of May.
It can't only be 8 days.
It's the 15th. Oh, 9 days in.
We started on the 6th, but technically we started on the 5th.
So it's the 9th.
9 days in, 10 days
10
if you
days
count the day that we didn't do anything.
Right, okay.
Travel. We had a travel day.
Yeah, we did. That counts.
Hey, sue us. We travel sometimes.
Yeah. And I have first got to make a public apology to everybody at our meet and greets who I told that every gift that they gave us would be featured in this episode. Because I've only brought the Glaswegian Scottish flag that I was given.
My favourite type of Scottish flag.
And I'm actually wearing all of the bracelets I've been given, except one. There was this girl that gave us like this one thick one that had been like braided.
Yeah, pretty girthy bracelet.
As soon as I got back to the bus, that snapped. So I'm sad about that.
Oh, what? The
like cool one that was like 3 all tied together.
Yeah, not one of these shit ones that everyone's giving you.
No, these are still great. I'm still wearing these. I like them. Yeah, people keep making us little bracelets that are really cute in context, but out of context, I'm just wearing 5 bracelets that say the word useless. So
it's like one of those, those bands that you used to wear as a kid that meant something. Like they were like a part of your personality, like brave. Or like, I've got the green one, that means I'm
like shag
studious.
Bands. Weren't they called shag bands?
I don't think I used to wear shag bands in primary school.
I think that they were called shag bands, and it was like, whichever colours you wore were like what kinks you're into or something. Oh. Meanwhile, everyone wearing them was like 9 years old.
That's why my PE teacher kept giving me them.
Oh, that's so weird. I forgot
yeah, so you've got a little shag band on and your little character trait is useless.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What have we done since the last... So had we just done Glasgow, or were we just about to do Glasgow?
Yeah, so we'd only done 2 shows.
Oh my
God, we're about to drop some absolute bombs in Glasgow.
Wow. So we did Glasgow.
We did. Then we did Manchester.
Yeah, should we
then
talk through...
London. And then Birmingham. And now we're in Leeds.
So let's take it all the way back to Glasgow.
Where it all began.
So we filmed...
Max's mummy and daddy felt a little bit frisky one day.
If you can't tell, George is really, really amped up his little flare-ups whilst we've been on tour. So just prepare yourselves for that throughout this episode.
A bit rude.
We did Glasgow. Did we film this episode in Glasgow, or did we do it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So
where the hell's your memory gone?
I know. Can I put my foot here?
Whoa.
It feels a bit intimate. It feels a bit intimate.
You've wedged yourself between my legs.
For our audio listeners, by the way, we are on our tour bus once again.
We are on all fours.
George is nude from the waist down, and my foot is on his genitals. So just picture that. Glasgow, the venue was in a church.
Yeah.
Which I think was a bit weird. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was quite cool.
Initially I thought it was cool.
But the people at the top...
I didn't like that.
I didn't like any of them. No. It didn't seem like they could see much.
Yeah, am I okay to sit like this, Callum, by the way?
Yeah, sure.
Can you
Just
see
fuck up the shot. That's absolutely fine.
Oh, have I fucked
No,
the shot?
you haven't.
Am I
Give
still
me
in
2
it?
minutes.
Sorry.
You are still in it. I just want to move it so it looks a
Okay.
bit nicer.
Can you see up my nunny?
Fortunately, I can.
You can't see my nun.
No, you're fine.
He's
I'll
got
just
his
have it
coat on.
Carry on.
Right.
Do you
This
mind
isn't
if
giving.
Can I sit on him?
Shut up, George.
Rather you didn't.
Yes, in our Glasgow venue, they sold enough tickets to also have people up on like a top tier sort of thing above everyone.
Yeah.
But then they didn't have chairs for those people.
No.
And we didn't find out until we were literally doing the show, and I was like, everyone stood up.
Yeah.
So then I felt bad for them because they were just standing for the entire show, which is a bit shit. And one of the things that I've noticed, because our show involves a lot of audience participation.
Yeah.
And I think what we've definitely noticed is that the venues where they're either bigger or like the lighting is different where the audience is, they are a lot more vocal and involved. And I think that like attributes itself to the fact that there's a lot more like anonymity in the audience if you can't be seen and you feel like you're in a big crowd. So like in Glasgow, for example, it was one of our smaller venues, wasn't it?
Indeed.
And because of it being in a church and all like the stained glass windows like around the venue, we could see everybody in like the audience, which I think made people a little bit more trepidatious about like shouting and getting
Nice
involved.
word.
Thank you. So that was one of our quieter ones, wasn't it? Which
Yeah.
did surprise me because everyone was like, oh my god, Glasgow's going to be crazy, Glasgow's wild. And it was like by far our most quiet audience, I would say.
Yeah.
you think?
I think Birmingham was a bit quieter.
But I think that's just because that was really small.
yeah.
Yeah. We've had, oh my god, by the way, guys, by quiet, we mean not as loud as literally screaming every 2 seconds. Like, when I tell you, our Manchester show
Yeah.
was the most insane. Yeah, like, just to rewind, we are in no way saying... Oh.
I'm Max Balegde.
No,
Oh.
we are in no way saying that like Birmingham or Glasgow were quiet, because they
But
were
we're
not.
also not saying that.
They weren't quiet.
No, they weren't. They
Yeah.
weren't. They weren't quiet.
But like if you're comparing it against like the London show where people were like screaming, or I'd say our craziest one yet has been the Manchester
Yeah.
show.
Easily.
That was wild.
Yeah, Manchester was crazy.
But yeah,
God, they know how to do it in Manny.
they do. But really enjoyed Glasgow.
I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah, we went for a really nice meal in Glasgow, didn't we?
We didn't.
No, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
No.
The night before the show.
No. Because Keith had all sorts of problems with his meal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay. Go on then. Explain to them what happened.
Oh, boys and girls, sit tight, because this is a story. Get ready to clip that. Oh god, there's a van about to hit us.
That's our crossload.
Oh. Well, in that case,
See what I mean about
We-
the flare-ups, guys.
we had a lovely little Italian meal.
Mm-hmm.
All of us were chowing down on our food. Pretty
Mm.
nice and enjoyable things. I had a
Mhm.
Negroni for the first time ever.
Oh yeah.
And Keith, bless him, Quasi Keith, if you've been to the shows, you'll know him as Keith the merch guy. He was there, but he got his food, but it came like cold. And this is crazy. This needs to be clipped. Keith's food came cold, and he said, he said to the waiter, "What is this meant to be?" He said, "Is this food meant to be a bit warmer?" So she took it out and let me get, and it gets better. It then came back again and was still too cold. And he said, "This needs to be a bit warmer." And then she took it out,
Oh my
and
God.
this time I think she must have used a microwave. You thinking, guys? She must have used a microwave, because boy,
Bear in mind,
that-
guys, he'd ordered pasta. So if you microwave pasta, it literally turns into one like big congealed block,
Oh,
essentially.
it came out, and that shit had been piped. That it was like she just brought out a big bowl of lava for him, and he lapped that shit up, and he loved it.
did.
And oh my god, if you thought that wasn't crazy enough, he ordered
A focaccia.
a focaccia,
Mm.
And then they didn't have any time to make a focaccia.
Because he'd sent his food back so many times.
So he just had plain bread and lava pasta. But we all had a good time.
It was so entertaining.
And then the man came over at the end and said, "Look, I'm so sorry, sir. Oh." And keeper just
He did this like monologue of like, oh my god, I just wanted to say, guys, I know that we had a few issues with your meal.
Yeah, you be the man, I'll be Keith.
Okay. Guys, just before you pay your bill, I just want to say we know that you had some issues with your meal, and we're really, really sorry about that. That is not the level of service that we hope to give, and we are so apologetic. And just so you know, that bread that you got there, sir, that's free of charge. You don't need to pay us for that, and we really hope that you all enjoyed your meal a lot.
Well, buddy, hope it's not on charge. I didn't buy it. I didn't want it.
And then we were like, Keith, he just poured his heart out to you. You're not going to say anything. He went, couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
And he was maybe 2 feet away from him, like only speaking to him. Keith was staring at him the entire time. And then Charlie was like, are you not going to say anything? He went, couldn't hear him.
Oh,
So
guys,
great.
tour life. You just wouldn't get it
You
if you're
just
not
wouldn't
on
get
tour.
it, guys. You had to be there.
Literally, oh my god, I'm taking that pasta story and I'm taking that shit to the grave. That's
Yeah,
funny.
that was
Can
crazy.
you slouch a bit?
Can I slouch a bit?
Yes. Just like sit a little bit lower in the seat. That's it. There you
Whatever
go.
happened to no shoes in the tour bus?
Yeah, upstairs. No shoes upstairs.
George
That
broke.
was never a thing. No shoes
Are you
upstairs.
joking?
That wasn't the first
Right,
week,
guys.
but then we said the second week because the floor was getting mad
Another
dirty.
thing that I've noticed whilst being on tour, oh my god,
On
on tour with George,
Fair enough.
is that George has what I would call selective hearing, where you can be like, I can be this far away from George with only me and him in the room, and I can be saying to him, all right, by the way, George, today we've got to do this, this and this, and then like we've got to go do that, and George will be staring down, and he'll let me speak for 2 to 3 minutes. Oh, don't get it twisted. He won't like, instantly, oh sorry, what do you, he'll fully let me finish what I'm saying, and then he'll go, what? And it is infuriating, but that's what you get when you George, when you're on
Exactly.
tour with George,
When you get your torture out.
out. So in Glasgow, yes, at the end someone gave us this flag, and it says Glasgow loves yous, Useless Hotline tour, and then some names that are really weird. Orla,
yous. Is what I think it's.
yeah, Orla and Liva.
Orla and liver. Was that an order?
Oil and liver.
Were they trying to get some food?
Fish oil and liver, I'm not sure. So yeah, that was Glasgow. Did we go out in Glasgow? No, we went for a meal,
Yeah, we went for a meal.
and then we headed off.
Yeah,
in
we
the
just
booths.
then went and slept in bed.
In the booths. Yeah, but I
Not
enjoyed
in the booths,
Glasgow.
in the Premier Inn.
Did we? I think we slept in the booths.
No.
After what?
After
Aye,
Glasgow.
First
Bus.
night we
Bus.
slept in Premier Inn.
Yeah.
Second night was overnight, so
Yeah.
we slept on the bus
On the booths.
on the way down to Mane.
Oh
so
my
when we
God.
got to Mane,
That's when you had.
That's when I was.
No. Sorry, that actually was on the way to Glasgow.
Oh yes,
Because
it
maybe
was.
said it on the podcast.
Yeah.
on the way from
Yeah.
Belfast over to
Gosh.
Glasgow is when you
Shit in a bar.
went down to Mane.
And
then-
someone told us that when you are on tour and you do a shit in a bag, it's called a hot bag,
It's called hot bagging. Yeah,
Hot
which
bagging.
is so
that's actually a
Awful.
thing. It's a normal. I say normal, semi-normal.
yeah. Apparently, it's just like
It happens.
a fairly common thing where
Hot bagging.
someone every tour has to do a shit in a bag.
Well,
nothing
I
hot
don't think
about
it's
it.
compulsory, but
Yeah.
When on
tr-
tour, shit in a bag.
And actually, when we did our what's Arthur Hill's
Name.
manager called?
Miriam.
Miriam, yes, love her, by the way, she's great.
Yeah.
She told me that she'd been on like tour with somebody, and they did a shit in a bag, and then brought it back to their bunk because they didn't know what to do with it, and they fell asleep with it in their bag, like
No.
yeah, like in their bunk, like
So they
as
fell
like
asleep hugging their own shit.
yeah, which is just
Like a
like
little
a-
teddy bear.
it's just too much
A
for
hot
me,
water
really.
bottle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It is just it's a bit much for me. But anyway, so after Glasgow, it was Manchester,
Yes.
and this is the show that all of my family came to, which was great. Very nice. George is going to get to experience that in Bristol. And I think Manchester might have been my favourite show that we've done yet.
Yeah.
Fuck off, fly.
Oh, what'd you do if I
did
just...
I thought you actually did.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed Manchester.
Yeah. So some of my family got to come and see us beforehand, like up in the room. Also, it's so cool that like we just have like dressing rooms.
We literally have a
stuff
dressing
like
room,
that.
a room where we can get dressed.
Where we get
literally right
dressed.
inside of it.
Yeah, we can have showers in
Yeah.
that. We've been having showers in the dressing rooms. We have snacks. Oh, before every show, for some shows, especially the fuck off fly. For the Manchester show, I felt a little bit nervous beforehand,
big
which
time.
is quite strange because we'd done a few shows up to that point, and I didn't really feel that nervous for all of those. I was more so excited.
I think it's because you were bringing it home, and you were like, damn, what if my own people reject me?
Yeah, reject me. So I was nervous to basically do it in front of my family. So George gave me a pep talk.
I gave him some good pep talking.
Yes, in the form of, what is the song that you play when you do?
If you're a YouTube little nerd out there, you'll know a song called Xenogenesis. How does it go?
It just slowly
goes,
builds.
Boom, 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 boom. Like
I don't
that.
remember, but yeah, I'll take your word for it.
But it's got a really slow build up.
Yes, yeah.
And when Max is in need of a little pep talk, pop that bad boy on, and then
basically between each like part of the song, you say words, don't you? So like, you do a beat, and I'll do an example of stuff that you do.
Okay.
So picture me, like we're backstage, we're in our dressing room. I'm a little bit nervous.
I'm gonna play this in my ear so I can remember what it sounds
Oh yeah,
like.
because we can't do it copyright, can we? Xenogenesis, is that what it's called?
Xenogenesis.
Xenogenesis.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah.
It goes like.
So then George will be like, do you know what, guys? We've come all this way, and we're now in Leeds. We've been through a lot together, you and I. And all of these people that have bought tickets to our show, they don't know what they're about to expect. But we know what they can live. And we're going to give that to them today. Because you might feel some nerves. But when I tell you right now that those nerves are unfounded, because we are about to show the people of Leeds what the Useless Hotline has to offer. That was great. And it really gets me hype. It makes me feel like I can accomplish the world and I'm going to do anything.
Every now and then I do it before a night out with like the Arthurs and Chris and stuff.
Oh, what did you say?
We did it in Ibiza before we went out.
Wait,
Just
can I imagine?
We're about to have the best goddamn night of our lives.
Can I imagine what that speech would have gone like? It would be like, guys, us boys, we're here. And the women of this island, they've got no idea just yet, but they're about to be swept off their feet. They may reject us. They may not want to look at us. But once they see how many subscribers we have combined, they will never be able to reject us. Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Kind of goes crazy though.
Kind of goes crazy. It does. It's very like, feels quite emotional in the moment.
Yeah. You said you were about to cry after the last one.
Did I? When was that?
Manchester.
Manchester. Was it not London? I think we did it in London.
No.
Oh no, yeah, Manchester. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I felt very.
You were quite emotional in Manchester in general.
Yes, I think it was just quite strange to see, like my family and friends came, like we said, and
watch out, close the legs.
Sorry, yeah, Winky on show. My family and friends came to our Manchester show,
Sit
like
back
we said.
down a bit because it's a bit too tall.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
My family and friends, came to our.
Your family friends just
Balegde.
I just want to do it again. my family and friends came to our Manchester show, like I said, and I think before them coming to this show, none of them really understood the scope of like what I do for a job.
They never understood how big we are.
Well, it's like that, but also just like I think it's easy to be like, oh, you just post silly videos and like then you get invited to like award shows every now and again, like, which is amazing, but like, you know, what you're really doing. So to then have them see that not only were we at a legitimate venue with like 550 people, which my best friend told me that she thought it was going to be like in a restaurant with like a little stage, which I find hilarious, but that also we can like I can like control a crowd and like, you know, like good public speaking and interaction, all of these skills that like I never had before, but like you just slowly kind of learn them.
Indeed.
And they were very proud of me. They were crying. Some of them were crying in the audience, which I thought was very lovely. My best friend came up to me afterwards sobbing, and she was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, fair enough, Leah, I don't really know. And then at the I won't say after party, we had all of my family and friends come up to our dressing room afterwards, and my stepdad kept getting his tits out, which is a bit alarming.
Got a strong nipple on the man.
Yes. So for
That's
context,
a nipple that could dislodge a contact lens.
That's a deep cut. That is a deep cut.
You'll only understand if you were there.
Yeah, you'll only understand that reference if you were at the Birmingham show. But yeah, my stepdad. So we have a segment in our show where people can raise their hand if they have a dilemma that they want us to answer.
They want to use the toilet. We say, everybody stay sat down until we tell you to.
So my stepdad kept putting his hand up because he'd like had a drink.
Yeah.
And my mum kept shoving it down. And what he was apparently going to say was that he has very large nipples, which he does, which is quite funny. Meaning like not the areola bit, but like the actual like sticky out bit is quite like kind of like what's it in nature. It's like half a what's it.
Why are you're currently describing your stepdad's nipples?
Just for context as to why he kept getting his tits out, really. Which again doesn't really need to be shown with the internet, but we'll do it. And yeah, so my mum wouldn't let him put his hand up. So then afterwards, he told me that when they came to our dressing room. And then every time that our videographer would get like a video with him or a picture of him, for whatever reason, he would get his nipples out. And it was very unnecessary, but it kept happening. Yeah. Do you think your dad's going to do the same?
No, he tends to keep his nipples sheathed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason or?
Just sanity. I think it'd be interesting to see you meet my parents.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Who is coming again from your family?
Mother, father, sister, coming to the family coming to the Bristol show. Sister's fiance, uncle, cousin are coming to the London show.
Oh, exciting! I'm really keen to see what your mum looks like because I saw a picture of your dad and I didn't think you look that much like him.
See, everybody.
Do people say you look more like your mum?
Me and my dad look like the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it was just that picture then. Because everyone on the bus resoundingly was like, you do not look like your dad in that picture.
Well, in fairness, he is 30 odd years older than me.
I know, but usually like a parent you can see, like I didn't see, obviously we only looked at it for a second, but
yeah,
maybe in person I'll be able to go, oh my god, Daddy Clarke.
Maybe you shouldn't say that.
Do you not think?
No.
Oh. What if I say, I feel like I'm married to your son, can I call you Dad? Is that okay?
I think he'll how would he react to that?
I think he'd love it.
Yeah. Callum thinks he'd love it. And
Callum
knows him better than you.
Oh yeah. Well, if you guys think he'll love it, then I guess he must do.
What if I call your mum Mummy?
She'll probably go like.
Oh.
She's a snorter.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Will it be heard from the crowd?
Probably not.
Oh.
I mean, that would be wild to be able to hear a snort from the crowd. Although it's fair, if they're like front row, yeah, they might do.
Oh, that would be great.
Do you want them front row?
It was quite nice having them front row because it feels like every now and again you can gesture to them without feeling like you're also looking at lots of other people.
But the Bristol arena venue is way smaller, so the front row in Manchester was still quite far away.
True.
This could be like last night, where they're like a metre in front of you.
Maybe to the back then.
Yeah.
How do you think they're going to react to
Also, when
our
we
show?
do our crowd work bit where we go, hey, what's your name? Where'd you come from? And then we're basically comedians on stage now. So
Yeah, we are.
No, we don't do that. No, I think they're just take them at the back. They'll be fine. They'll be able to see us still.
Take them round the back, did you just say?
No,
He said stick them around the back.
Oh, right, okay.
Don't mind.
What do you think their reaction is going to be to the show? Because my family's reaction was, I mean, stuff happened in the Manchester show that has not happened in other shows. Like,
Yeah.
for example, we have a segment of the show where people come on stage, and the girl...
And we have to get the mop out afterwards.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
The girl that managed to get on stage was also a girl that before the show even started found my parents, got a picture with my mum, and my mum commented on how like drunk this girl was.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. Big up that girl. Can't remember your name, but you were great. And then apparently all my family were like, "Oh my god, like why do they even know who Joanne is? Like this is
Yeah.
crazy."
I didn't know what Joanne looked like. How does she know what
I
Joanne
don't
looks
know.
like?
Maybe just from like TikToks, or maybe they just assumed that must be Max's mum. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From like the crowd, and then they were like, as if that is also the girl out of 550 people that got chose to be put on stage. And she was wild. She just kept like interrupting with like her own narrative, basically, which was very entertaining.
And then when they'd done their segment of the show, and they were going to leave, she was like, "Oh, can I get a hug?" And I was like, "Yeah, right then." Little did I know, leg was used in hug.
Well, then she went into the microphone and like gestured to the crowd as she was touching George and went, "I fancy George," and then
They
put
just-
one
yeah,
leg up on it.
Put her leg up round me.
And that was crazy.
And then the girl afterwards came up and went, "I would do the same, but I'm 16."
Really? Is that what she said?
Yeah. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god. Yeah, please don't.
Thanks.
Do we know the age of the one that actually did do it?
She was deaf or
Don't
over
wanna find
18.
out.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, she was drunk, so
yeah,
I feel like
yeah. She
must-
looked over 18.
Valid.
Yeah, it was very, very entertaining. So, how would your parents react if something similar happened?
My mum would find it really funny.
Yeah.
I think my dad would as well. My sister would wet herself. Yeah, I think my dad would be like, "What?" I don't know if he'd get it. but my mum would just be going.
You really painted a picture.
She'd go. my mum would be in the audience, and she'll get her head up out the trough and go. Jesus Christ!
Start rolling around in shit.
Sorry, mum.
Your mum does not deserve this.
No, you're a lovely woman, mummy.
Yeah.
I love you. I don't know why I said mummy. That was really weird.
Right. I mean, even just not that. The show. So also the dilemmas that are involved in each show, we don't know what they are beforehand.
No.
And was it the one with my parents there that was all about like putting stuff up
Oh,
their ass?
butthole. There was the word butthole in the
Yeah,
sentence.
I think it was maybe
like
I think that was
36
might have been
different
Glasgow
times.
actually.
Oh yeah, that might have been.
And all that I kept thinking was, please God, don't let them be that weird when it's my family's time. So
There was a couple.
there was a weird one, but I don't think that they were that weird.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, in Bristol, we could end up with a situation where your family are like...
They're all just sat together.
making different animal noises. What would you do if they actually did that? No, I'd be upset. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Each show has been so different
Yeah.
that you almost can't predict what is going to happen.
Ooh, we haven't even
that's
spoken
exciting.
about London yet.
Oh, no, we've not.
The
So,
London show.
after the Manchester one
Mm.
was our biggest one yet.
Down from Money,
And we
all
had...
the way down to London.
Ooh.
Hey, yeah, bit bop the boop do. We go up with it.
Yeah. And who was... yeah, that.
Yeah, yeah, George.
And who was at the London show with us?
Well, I'm not going to name all 1,000 of them. It was.
My
Oh,
mum's
speaking of
calling.
mum, go on, answer
Do
it.
you want to
Just
answer it?
answer it on
Yeah,
the
answer
pod.
it. Go for it.
Hello?
Hiya, you alright?
Yes, I'm just filming a podcast episode. Yes. We're actually just speaking about you. What was your verdict of the Manchester show?
It was amazing. I was very proud.
Oh,
So it was
thank
really
you.
good.
Oh,
Right.
thank you. No, we were just talking it through about how George's family are going to be at the Bristol one soon, so we're trying to think what they'll think of it.
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Stalker?
Yeah, that'll be... Well, I am really, yeah. But to be honest, can you talk or not?
Yeah.
Alright, now I was thinking, who's that guy who, Andrew's on your TikTok with?
Oh, it was
Who
some
is
it was some random from a bar last night.
Oh,
We don't actually know.
oh. How long did you leave Andrew with him?
Not very long. Not that long.
Really, really creepy.
I know,
Was he
bless him.
Was he alright?
Yeah, I mean he's fine now. It was only like a 10-second video. He's fine.
Well, it looked like it had gone on for a bit longer than that.
Yeah. Maybe it had actually. Maybe it was behind my back. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
right.
doubt it. Oh, it's very creepy.
Yeah. I'll call you later.
Right. Alright then.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bless her.
Cute. Checking up on Andrew.
Yeah, I know. That's funny. Yeah, London.
Yes.
Who was there?
'Twas me. 'Twas you.
Mm-hmm.
'Twas Ash Home.
Mhm.
'Twas Arthur Hill.
Mhm.
'Twas Arthur TV.
Mm-hmm.
'Twas Andrew Spandee. It
It was a jam-packed show.
yeah.
It was our first one with special guests.
Bloody jam everywhere in this show. It
Yeah.
was packed full of it.
Mm-hmm.
There was we can say this actually now because obviously this will come out on Sunday, which is after the last show.
Oh yeah.
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 A rogue, crazy little Arthur Hill performance at the end. That kind of went off.
It did.
It
was
did really.
actually
It was amazing.
Incredible.
Mm. When Joe, his guitarist, came on, and everybody immediately clocked what was
Yeah.
going on. It was so funny.
You just would, wouldn't you? I guess if you know that Arthur Hill's like a singer as
Yeah.
well, then you're just gonna be like, yeah. He's,
But I don't know if
he's
they thought
definitely-
that was Arthur.
Oh, really?
if you just see someone going out with like you just
guitar.
assume it could be.
Yeah,
I
true.
don't know. Yeah, it was quite enjoyable. It gave me the vibe of, that Britain's Got Talent performance where it was that Michael Jackson impersonation sort of like dancer, and then the
Maybe,
guy
yeah.
came on with the broom on the side.
Oh yes, yeah.
It sort
did-
of gave me
it
the
did.
similar vibes to that.
So for those of you who don't know, or those of you who came to a show that wasn't our London show, we were able to secure special guests for our London show.
Big time.
All just our friends that were doing it free of charge, which is very kind of them. So shout out to those. The reason why we couldn't get other people to do the other shows is because we would basically have to pay people, and we didn't want to do that. We couldn't. I mean,
No, it would just be out
realistically,
of our budget to
yeah.
be able to. It would mean
It would have
housing
cost
them,
the entire
travel,
thing,
housing
yeah.
them, and then also
Yeah, like asking a friend to
like-
do one show is different from asking a friend
Yeah.
to do
yeah,
9
exactly.
shows.
We would have literally we would have lost money on the entire tour if we paid for special guests at every single show. So we just asked some of our like closer friends to do the London show, and there's a segment of each show where people from the crowd are like pre-vetted to come and do a dilemma live on stage.
Yeah, boy.
And we switched that out with our special guests coming on to do a dilemma live on stage, and it was very entertaining,
It
wasn't it?
was Arthur TV. Bless him. He was getting very nervous beforehand.
I
and
didn't think he
you said you
was.
couldn't tell, but
I couldn't tell.
because I know him. It was just. It was.
But what was the first thing he said when he walked on stage?
I can't remember, but he got a big cheer.
Yes, he did. Massive cheer. What did
Uh,
he say? He said something, didn't he?
He said, "I'm so nervous."
Oh,
yeah. And then he introduced himself as Arthur Television.
Yeah.
So funny. It's like he's full named himself, but his name obviously isn't Arthur TV. But yeah, that was quite funny. You could see he was. But I think he did enjoy it, but it's
I
just.
think he did great.
It's not his scene.
I was under the impression, because I know obviously I only know Arthur through you,
Yeah.
but my impression of him was that he'd done a lot of like things before in front of like crowds, or like he's done a lot of shoots and things like that, and he always comes across very confident in them.
Yeah, no.
So I didn't think that something like that would phase him, but you were saying to me,
yeah,
oh,
no,
he's very nervous right now.
Yeah, so he, he's done a lot of like shoots for like different YouTube videos and stuff, but where I've done like the Sidemen talent show or something where it's been more of like a performance, he's not really done that. Like there was like a try not to laugh video where him and a bunch of others were dressed as like they were fake tanned and did like the sort of posing and stuff. But that's sort of his extent, so I don't think he really
like
enjoys
doing it in front of an
much.
audience,
No.
as opposed to just people that happen to be in the room as
Yeah.
part of the production. Right, yeah, I get you. It is a very different thing, especially when you're on a stage in front of 1,000
Yeah.
people. It can be quite daunting. But I think he did great. What was his dilemma? Should we not give
he
it away?
was-
Oh, it doesn't matter. This is out by the
Yeah,
time.
his dilemma was that he gave his friend's mum flowers because he thought that was just a kind thing to do.
Yes.
But then she got
Misinterpreted it.
and then obviously it was just basically about Arthur Hill's mum.
Yeah, so the idea was that Arthur Hill's mum was coming on to him. And I also ruined his joke because I said, well, his entire thing was like, yeah, so I gave my friend's mum flowers, and now I fear that she's got the wrong impression, and she keeps making hints at me and winking at me and all of this stuff. And I just went like, are you talking about Arthur Hill's mum by any chance? Because if you are, then I say go for it. And then as soon as we got off stage, he was like, you ruined my entire punchline. He was like, that was the entire punchline. And I was like, oh, sorry, like, I didn't realise. But, I mean, it was still great. People still loved him. I reckon from the audience, you wouldn't have been able to tell that he was nervous.
No, you wouldn't.
Because his whole thing
Yeah.
is also being a
His
little bit
whole thing
awkward.
is awkwardness, but I know when he does the awkwardness, normally it's more like
He's in control of it.
Yeah, he's not actually like nervous, but
Yes.
I don't know, it's quite funny.
Oh,
to
bless
see,
him. And then, yeah, we had Ash, who came out. She was strutting her stuff. She was
Yeah.
loving it.
Killed it.
She killed it. She was, like, so much fun on stage. She was, like, our guest helper.
Yes.
So, basically, she came out first and, like, sat with us and was, like, our guest employee to help us give, like, a female perspective on some advice. And Andrew was one of the dilemmas. And he came out saying that he's worried that his boyfriend's cheating on him because he's been away for a week with another boy who has a beard. So he's worrying. Basically, the joke was basically that Andrew thinks I'm cheating on him with George because I'd been away on tour for a week. And the crowd loved that, didn't they? They were like,
enjoy that,
"Ooh, why? She's crazy!"
And then we moved on to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And an Arthur Hill performance. The first time he's ever performed John Wayne in front of a crowd.
Really?
Wow.
Oh wow! It was amazing.
Yeah.
It actually felt a little bit. I'd say that was one of the most like movie-ish moments of my
Yeah.
life, where I was like, "This is actually like
It was-
we're all living this, but it doesn't feel real."
It was cringy.
Yeah, oh,
us
yeah.
being
Oh, but I loved it. I'm so here for the cringe. Like, because how we planned it was that whilst we were like about to start wrapping up the show, Arthur's guitarist would just walk out
Yeah.
in the middle of the stage, and then me and George would be like, "What? What's happening? What?" And then Arthur would then come out, and then we'd all be like, "Arthur Hill, everyone!"
Yeah.
And then we just basically danced behind him, didn't we?
Yeah, but because he did two songs, he did Dead at the Disco and then John Wayne afterwards. It is literally like just 5 minutes of us standing
Just
on
like,
stage
well, yeah.
dancing.
I loved
And it
it.
was so funny. I kept picking Arthur up off his chair.
Yeah, because he kept sitting
And
down, didn't he?
He hated when I did it. 'Cause, oh, he's got his go-to little two-step that he does. It's quite funny.
I loved it. I was like doing the cha-cha. I was like ballroom dancing with you, spinning each
Yeah.
other around. I had the best time. And yeah, that was lovely. And it's so surreal after every show. We have groups of people that like wait outside the venue for us. But at London especially, because there was so many, I literally was like,
Yeah.
we are literally the Jonas Brothers right now. I don't know why the Jonas Brothers are my constant point of contact. But they had to be barriered off, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then
barrier
like,
off an entire street.
yeah, they had to barrier off an entire
so
street.
wild to think.
That is crazy. And the other best thing about it is that all of the people that come to our shows are so respectful. Like, whilst that's happening, like, that could be like a point of fear for some people, if you get what I mean. Where like, oh my god, there's so many people. Are they gonna run over the barricade and like grab us or whatever? But everybody is so like. After the London show, I had to head off early.
Yeah.
So I went down and I saw them all, and I was like, right. We were actually advised to not go to see them all because. Just in case anything happened, basically, by the venue. And I was like, no, I'm going to go down, walked down, and I said, guys, I don't have time to get pictures with all of you, because there was like 30, 40 people there, weren't there?
There was more like 50, 60.
Really?
At least, yeah.
And so instead what I did was like group pictures with everyone.
Yeah.
And they were all so understanding, so lovely. And I was like, this is just... And me and Andrew just got in the taxi afterwards, and we're like, that's just not normal life that we're living right now.
It's very odd.
It's actually crazy.
I had like a moment like that. I think it was the day after the London show, where I was going over the edit on my video, and the new Sidemen video came out that I was in. And we started watching a bit of it, and I was like, oh, I have to pause that because I need to get back to editing this. And then I just took like a moment. I like looked at Arthur, and I was like, what the hell is going on right now? I'm currently editing a video with me and Joe Sugg and Casper Lee. Paused a video of the Sidemen that I'm in, and I've just come off the back of a London.
That's crazy.
Show. I was like, this is so
that is
just
crazy.
weird.
So surreal. That's crazy.
That is mental.
I was like, what is actually going on right now?
Could you ever have thought that even 2 years ago that scenario would be the case?
No, I mean 2 years ago, what was I doing 2 years ago?
We hadn't even started the podcast. You were still just TikToking every day.
Yeah, hadn't started doing YouTube properly. You'd
probably just signed to your management.
Yeah, hadn't even. Yeah, 2 years ago. April 2 years ago is when I signed to the management, which was pretty much when it like became my job. As in, I'd not had a brand deal before that. Hadn't met any of the YouTube guys.
Crazy.
I'd only met you like a couple times.
Yeah, and that was just when you were messaging in my live streams, begging me to follow you back.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is very weird.
It is actually wild when you think 2 years is not that much time, and think how much has changed in our lives.
For real.
I was living in Bristol still, hadn't moved out.
Oh yeah.
2 years ago I was at uni.
You were at uni
I was
still
at uni
2 years
2
ago?
years ago, yeah.
Shut up, Max.
Yeah. Well, I just dropped out, but I was at uni.
Wow.
Yeah. That is wild, guys. That is actually crazy.
It's insane how quickly things can change, and we can't give it away, but we're now looking at doing the show at a thing at the end of the summer.
Oh yeah.
And I bet you guys never thought in a million years that would be the case.
Yeah, no.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is crazy. This is wild.
What a crazy little life we lead.
It is. I feel like I had a similar moment. What was I doing? I went to the BAFTAs and did the exact same thing that you just said. I literally called my mum. That's so weird that you say that.
That's on the same day?
Yes, same day. I was trying to... When you said that, I was like, I'm sure I did the same thing, but I was not in a Sidemen video. Like, what am I talking about? No, literally, I woke up after the show. Yes, the reason why... So you all went out after the London show, but I had to get up early because I knew that I had to work the BAFTAs the next day. Weird sentence. Got to leave my show early to go do the BAFTAs. All right.
I hate even talking about it because I don't want to come across as if it's no,
it's not. You're just talking. No,
like...
you're not. You're just talking about your experiences. That's
it's
not
crazy. We're allowed to say.
Yeah, you can.
This happened, and we're both in shock that it's even happening to us.
Yeah,
that's humble.
I think if we're talking about it like, no big deal, I just did that, then that means you're a twat. But I literally called my mum. Because sometimes when things are happening so quickly, we don't even have a second to stop and think. Even since Maisie started working with me, she said, like, it's crazy how much you do. And even her, it's not directly happening to her, and she's helping organising it. And she's like, I don't even stop and realise how much we are doing. Or like how many different things you do, because you just don't even internalise it. You just go, next thing, next thing, next thing.
Yeah.
You normalise things really quickly.
And it's crazy. Fuck off, fly. I was literally in the car, I just got ready, on the way to the BAFTAs, and I called my mum, and she was like, how was the show last night? And I was like, oh my god, I've not even been able to think about it because I'm like focusing on all these like interview questions that I've got to do.
Yeah.
And then she was like, it's just crazy, isn't it? She was like, I'm so proud of you, like to think that you just sold out like a 1,000 capacity venue last night, and now you're going to interview celebrities on the red carpet of the BAFTAs before going to the actual BAFTAs. She was like, Max, that's crazy. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, it's absolutely crazy. And then the sun started shining. I hung up the phone, listened to Glee, and started to cry out the window. Because I was just like, it is like you it's so easy to just be like, right, what's happening next and what's happening next. I'm sure as soon as we finish this tour, we'll be like, right, okay, we've got to do this now, got to do this. And we should really take a second right now. Let's take a second.
What day is it now?
It's hard to take a
Most
second
comes
now
up.
because you're not even done with tour. I think when we're back, take a moment.
Yeah.
But even then,
it's
what
just
is it?
mental.
This comes out on the 19th, day after tour finishes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, by this time, the next day, not been announced yet, but the actual thing has it doing pitchside versus club football match.
Ooh.
Oh
Two
wow!
football match, and
Pitchside
then-
versus the club.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then 22nd, me and Arthur TV are going on Arthur Hill's live podcast show.
Oh, is he doing a podcast? Arthur and his
Yeah.
mum's
Yeah.
show. Oh my god, that'll be so good.
Yeah, then we've got a chat for there's just loads of things
crazy.
going on. We've got the Tough Mudder race.
Oh, is that this summer? coming up?
Yeah, 15th of June.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Thing is, yeah, it's so easy to just like constantly be looking to the next thing. But I literally said, I think that my New Year's resolution, I think I said it on this podcast, was to stop and be grateful for more, like to stop and actually acknowledge the things that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like we do just go from one thing to the next, and it's absolutely mental. It's so mental. So well done us, and well done everyone.
Yeah, well done, you guys. You
Thank
guys are
you.
smashing it for
Thank
real.
you.
Thank you very much.
Stop it.
Yes, the London show was crazy. It was a movie. It was wild. And then we had a day off. I went to the BAFTAs. I got to interview Anta Dec. Mental.
That's wild.
And guys, I was telling George, I cannot explain to you how bizarre the BAFTAs was, because essentially you go to the award show and then afterwards some people get invited to like this like ceremony where like you have like a dinner and drinks and an after party, and I was lucky enough to get invited to that. And it was literally like you were at a family wedding with all of the most famous people in the UK. I can't explain it. Like, I got to my table first. Nobody else was sat at it. And it was like a big fancy table with loads of flowers. Dec, from Ant Dec, comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder, and goes, "Oh, love what you've done with the flower arrangements."
Oh, I like what you've done with the daisies. You're doing great.
Yeah, basically. And I was just like,
Oh, that's Anne actually that I've just done there.
oh, okay.
It's more. You're doing great. One star for camp.
Yeah, that was alright. That was pretty similar. And I was literally like, oh my god, thank you, thank you, Dec from Ant Dec. Like, what the hell do I do with my life right now?
Declan Donnelly, come on, you know his full name.
Yeah, but I was just so shocked that, like, 'cause I just interviewed him and got introduced to
Yeah.
him. But I'm like, that's Ant Dec. They're not going to remember me 2 seconds later. Coming up to me, I was like, what the hell? And then David Tennant, from obviously Doctor Who and 20 million other things,
Yes.
just literally like maybe 2 feet away from my table, just walking about by himself mostly, chatting to different groups of people.
I think I fancy David Tennant.
Honestly, like, you would have loved it. Like, the guy that I was sat next to was a huge Doctor Who fan like you.
Yeah.
And I was going to him, just go over to him. He's clearly being very sociable. Just go over to him. And he did. And he was like chatting away with him. And I was like, oh, that guy's dream is just like coming true right now. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Helena Bonham Carter just literally casually drapesing throughout each table.
Wow.
Claudia Winkleman, like all the Strictly people. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? I felt so bizarre, like, walking about. And then Bobby Brazier, do you know who he is?
Bobby Brazier, yeah. The eldest of the Brazier clan. I don't know. He's EastEnders, right?
Yes, he was on EastEnders and on Strictly.
Yeah.
He's so lovely. Just before I left, I was like, right, I'm going to go scan around the after party, see if there's anyone that I know. And he came over to me, because I was doing interviews with Lad Bible. He was like, Lad Bible. I can't do his accent.
That was
at
quite
all.
good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Like a London accent.
keep
Lad
going, that was good,
Bible.
yeah. Keep going.
Is that like... No, I'm not doing it, because I can tell that you're making
No,
fun
that
of
was
me.
that was good. That was generally good. The Lad Bible. That was.
Lad Bible.
Yeah, keep going.
So then I was like, oh, hi, yes. And he was like, oh, you're really good at interviewing. And I was like, yeah, I am. I don't know. I can't do his accent. Okay. But I was just like chatting to him for ages. So unbelievably lovely. I was telling him about our podcast actually, because I think someone said to him about it or something. I can't remember how it got brought up. But yeah, and I was just like, this is such a bizarre thing that's happening. And again, I like woke up the next morning and had to go straight back on tour, so I didn't even get a second to think about it. And then as soon as we were like on the train, I was sat there like, what the fuck? It's just so weird that these things happen, and we're just so lucky to be able to get to do it, aren't we?
Yeah, no, I'm very fortunate because I've always wanted to do this.
I just didn't want to do. I just had no idea. Yeah, I just didn't see this life for myself. I thought I was just gonna like finish my degree, get like a decent job, and then just like live happily ever after somewhere. I didn't think that I'd be actively doing something.
I didn't
like
think
this.
I would be. I mean, I don't know.
Like you dreamed that this was your dream.
Yeah.
Do you not find it weird that you're living your dream?
Yeah.
Does that sink in?
I don't think it ever really will. Like,
I think maybe it will one day when it starts to slow down, and you'll be able to look back on it and go, I was living my dream at that point.
Yeah. But I don't know, I think, I just think I'm a very lucky person.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess I am living my dream, but it was just a dream that I didn't even allow myself to dream, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get that.
Like I was...
Were you afraid to vocalise it?
Yeah, I was afraid to vocalise it because it felt so far out of the reach of possibility that I just didn't even think that it would become a thing.
Sure.
So it's wild. Crazy. Flare up.
I should probably stop, otherwise we will get copyright strike.
Yeah, because it's so similar
It's
to
so
the actual
good.
By
track.
the old Subo.
And then we went to Birmingham, which
We
was
did.
great. That was our smallest venue yet.
That was
and
a comedy club, which was quite an interesting affair. When I was up there, I was like, every time we got a laugh, I was like, damn, do I want to do stand-up?
no.
But no, that would be I would hate doing.
Yeah, me too. I the thing is, when we do our shows, it's so lovely because the people have paid to specifically come to see us.
Yeah.
So even sometimes when I imagine we're not actually that funny, they find us funny because they've come on board with what we're doing, so they understand the nuances of us. Whereas if it was to a fresh crowd of brand new people, I think it would be soul crushing every night, and I'd just be hit with the realization that I have no talent.
But I feel like it's different. You our show is tailored towards that crowd, whereas if you were going to do a fresh crowd, you would come up with different material.
Definitely.
I
think that we could do it.
Loads of people have been to the Glee Club in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Performed, yeah.
Yeah, all sorts. Like pretty much
Sarah Milligan.
I mean, that's such a rogue name to pick out of the hat off the start, but
She's big. She's more famous. She was on her picture was on the front of it.
no, I know. I was thinking more like Michael McIntyre.
Yeah, I'd say they're like similar level of big. No.
I think Michael McIntyre's.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay,
with
then
that.
fine.
bigger.
I think Sarah Milligan is like a well-known.
No, she's
comedian,
well
though.
known, but
Yeah.
it was a rogue one to just
Okay. Michael McIntyre. Who else?
just come up with more men first.
Yeah. See, this is exactly what he's saying.
I was about to say Joe Brand. Joe Brand was on there.
Yeah. Do you know who I love? Who I've met multiple times now? Catherine Ryan.
Catherine Ryan, yeah.
And
I
she
met
was
her
at the
at
BAFTAs
Would I
as
Lie
well.
to You? Something
Oh,
Would I Lie
yes,
to You? She
yeah.
was there.
She.
Questioned her about her knickers.
Oh.
And then she came on the stage. As in, she travelled
No.
onto the stage. I didn't.
She is just so lovely, and I've been a fan of her for so long, and I think that she is so clever with how she does things. She always kind of like tackles it in a way of, I mean, because especially at the BAFTAs they were talking about how difficult it is for women in comedy, because you do have to work so much harder to just to even be considered to be accepted into the same spaces as men in comedy. And I just think that she's done it so well, and getting to meet her like personally and seeing how lovely of a person she is outside of that, I just think that she's the best. And her daughter is iconic. Her daughter listens to our podcast.
I think she might have had her daughter at the.
Yeah, she did. She would have
Shoot.
done, I mean.
Yeah.
Because her daughter's like doing loads of stuff with her now. Her daughter is so
sorry, I'm
iconic.
touching your toes
Yeah, you're
accidentally.
touching my toes. But yeah, love Catherine Ryan. Saw her at the BAFTAs as well. Yes, at the Glee Club. Well, I wonder if she's performed there. Maybe not. I feel like she's
I don't know,
maybe
she probably
she
like,
skyrocketed so quickly. I doubt that she would have done like
no, but
little
that's
clubs.
still like a venue that people would do even when they're
Oh,
at like
really?
the like comedy clubs. Like it's less on sort of capacity. It's more like how prestigious
Testing the
the
material.
sort of club is.
That's another thing, is
Oh.
even the biggest comedians will go to really small, like
Yeah.
prestigious comedy clubs
Oh.
before a big tour to test out
To
new
test,
material,
yeah.
and they'll
Oh,
perform
okay,
to like 200-300 people.
Right, she might have been there then. That's so cool. Catherine Wright might have performed there. Yeah, so that venue was interesting. It was very small than our other ones, and the layout was a bit weird because everyone was sat at desks.
Yeah, it did feel like
School dinner vibes.
the
Yeah,
only
school.
thing we had behind us, whereas we normally have like filing cabinets and stuff, it was literally just a big whiteboard.
Yeah, the
so
stage
it did
was a
feel
lot
like we were
smaller.
doing some sort of like TED talk.
Yeah, it did, and we weren't able to come on. So, as a spoiler alert for no one, because our tour is finished by the time that this comes out, we come on stage every time riding a pink Mini and a quad bike.
Yeah,
And we weren't able to do that in Birmingham.
they're like toy versions.
Yeah,
by the
not
way.
the real
Yes.
I don't come in riding a quad bike like.
The toy versions. If you're a fan of my TikTok, big up TikTok. Then
TikTok. Oh, this is a thing that you've started doing.
I
on
keep
Twitter.
saying big up
Keep
this,
saying
big up that.
up.
big up Birmingham, big up. I love doing it because on my Snapchat at the minute, follow me on Snapchat, guys, max.balegde. There's this filter that I've been doing throughout the entire tour that looks like a guy who is a football hooligan who, outside of work,
Looks like
gets a bit crazy, but probably has like a really tame like office job where he has to be a bit professional.
looks like Luke Littler.
I don't know who that is, so I can't confirm or deny.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so and every time that I do that, I'm like, big up this, big up that, and now I've started accidentally saying it in my real life vocabulary, especially when on stage, actually, which is also a bit more
you have
humiliating.
whipped a few out on stage.
Oh, I hope.
Oh.
But yeah, Birmingham was fun, and we went out afterwards. Oh my god, do you know what? Actually,
We did go out.
fuck Birmingham.
Oh.
Fuck you, Birmingham. Not really. I love all the people from there, just not this person.
Oh yeah.
Because we went out after our show in Birmingham.
He's got some beef with a disc jockey.
I do. I really do. Okay. We went out after our show in Birmingham because Callum and our team were putting all of our set back onto the bus, and they were like, you have about half an hour, 45 minutes. There's
Go
a gay
play.
bar. Yeah, there's a gay bar next door. Go and have a drink if you fancy it. So we were like, oh my gosh, this is great. We go in. One of the guys who worked there had like messaged us, or messaged Andrew, and like gave us a free bottle of Prosecco. And we were like, this is so unnecessary, but thank you very much, sir. This is very
Yes.
kind. And we were like, oh my
I
gosh,
felt like
Birmingham's great.
I should have known him the way that they were. They sort of came over and like, hello. I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah, it was very familiar.
Yeah.
But we were like, do you know what? This is just very kind,
nice though,
very
yeah.
kind vibes. Thank you, Birmingham. And then the guy's like, oh, like let's go over to the dance floor. So we're like, okay, we're over at the dance floor. This bar is not overly full.
No.
And then he's like, oh, literally just like go up and like request a song if you want. It was like it might not be able to hear you, but just like, you know, type it, like whatever. Basically said to me like, oh yeah, it's so chill. Go request a song,
Yeah.
like whatever. I woke up. There's this song that George has been playing in the dressing room, and I was like, oh, I really like it. Let's request this.
Hey, maybe I should be the disc jockey.
You should be, because this guy.
Which song?
It's called Boogie Tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, iconic song we love.
I want to fresh my ears with it.
Yeah, I don't know which one you're on about.
It's called
Boogie
Boogie
Tonight.
Tonight.
I've got two in my head, but that wasn't one of them.
As in the number 2.
Boogie Tonight.
That. That's not it. Yeah.
It's
It is
Oh,
that.
I found a place
where we can boogie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boogie Tonight.
Yeah, so I go
Nice.
up to the disc jockey station.
Say what you want.
I go up and...
Sorry.
He actually apologised there.
yeah, thank
Wow.
God. Wow, do you know what?
Wow, that's a
progress.
first.
That is
Normally doesn't say
progress.
anything.
Wow. So I go up to the disc jockey station, and I am ready to give my request. So I say to him, I say, are you doing requests? And he like looks over at me, and he's like, so I'm like, oh, he can't hear me. So I was like, right, okay. So I just type the song name on my phone, and I just put like question mark at the end. and showed it to him as if to be like, oh, I know that you can't hear me, and I was like, oh, is this okay? And then he goes, 1 second, turns around, gets his phone. So I'm thinking, oh, he's like going to get it up on his phone. So I'm just there smiling at him, like, thank you so much. I think I literally said, thank you so much. And then he shows me in his notes, and he's written on his phone, where's your manners, ? So I was like, obviously so confused. I'm thinking, is this like a song title? Like, what's happening here? So then I was just like, oh, are you doing requests? And again, without saying a word, he just goes, puts it in my face this time, puts his phone like in my face near enough. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like,
yeah, no, it was a bit weird.
So I just didn't say anything. I was just like, right, okay, we're leaving. I was like, we only had that half an hour there anyway. I was like, we're leaving.
We look up at him and he's still holding it out. And then we say, when you go, we're leaving, you turn around to leave. He then turns the music down a bit and goes, just to let you know, we are doing requests tonight. And then turns the music back up again, classic DJ style, then pulls it back down and goes, all you got to do is come over, use your manners, and say please, or like something like that. And then
because that's another thing he said to you when you turned around. He was like, all you had to say was please.
But it didn't even get to a point where like that was like necessary. What, so should I have written the word please on the like? From my understanding, he couldn't hear what I was saying.
Yeah, it is weird to write a full sentence out.
Yeah, like just to be aggressive,
hello, kind
basically.
Sir. Hello, disc jockey.
Hello there. Was wondering, and I was speaking while showing it to him and saying, "Are you doing requests tonight?" I wasn't gonna be of course I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." It was just weird. It was so unnecessary.
I just loved the passive aggressiveness. Yeah. Just so you know, we are doing a request tonight.
Just gotta use your manners.
Just make sure you use your manners.
It was so unnecessary. Bear in mind, there was maybe maybe 10 people in this bar, and we were like 6 of them. Yeah, so it was like, why are you just being so unnecessarily rude? Like, do you not need people to come to... Like, we probably would have spent way more money in that bar as well. Yeah. And like, it was just bizarre. So yeah, I've got beef with you, sir, and I hate you. I hate you with a passion, and I hope that you don't get paid a lot of money there, because you don't deserve it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Really, do you know what? The bar staff were lovely. The bar itself looked like a lot of fun. Yeah. You were not nice.
We went to a bar last night.
Oh, we went to 7.
Oh, yes, we did. Oh, my God.
We went to, what was it called?
We're in Leeds now, by the way.
We're in Leeds. What was the first bar we went to?
So, our tour manager, Tom, has a bar.
We won't even talk about that.
Has a bar in Leeds that he'd told us about whilst we were on tour. Yeah. And we were like, oh, we need to go to it. So we went thinking that Tom would be there, but he was tired, so he didn't come.
Tom was gone.
Yeah, so Tom had gone at home earlier because he lives in the city, and he was like, oh, I'm going to do some work from home, see the kids, whatever, and chill. And then we didn't really hear anything from him throughout the day. And then he messaged not long before we were about to go out, and he was like, guys, I'm really, really sorry. I'm just like, I'm dead. But don't worry, go to the bar, you'll be looked after.
Yeah. So we knew that. So our tour manager Tom, bit of background info on him. He was like a punk rocker back in the day, a cool dude, punk rocking chick.
He rocked up them punks.
He did, and he now he's touring with us and like managing our tour. But the most common clientele that he tours with are like bands and like rockers and stuff like this. And his bar is very, how would you describe it? Punk rock? Satanic?
Emo.
Yes.
Emo, very emo. There was a picture of Satan with a sword as a penis, and
that was incredible.
Yeah, that was incredible.
There's a coffin in there.
Yeah, there's a coffin in the bar.
There was a girl sat at the bar who had a Teletubby toy that had ink all over it and like the eyes crossed out,
like a voodoo doll.
Yeah,
and it was really scary. Actually,
it was giving voodoo vibes.
Yeah, it really was scary.
It wasn't like a bring your own toy night. It was just that's something she rocks around with.
Yeah, so that was very interesting. So we had one drink there and then swiftly exited before going to Viaduct Show Bar in Leeds, which, if you know Viaduct, big up Viaduct, big up Leeds, one of the best places in Leeds, one of my favourite places in Leeds. I think that we would all agree if you've been there. and they actually gave us a VIP booth.
Ooh.
Indeed.
Which was like towards the back of the venue, so we sat and had one drink there.
Yeah.
And karaoke was on.
Karaoke was on.
And we were constantly making comments that people were basically just picking the wrong karaoke songs, weren't
Yeah.
they? Like slow, boring.
Yeah, ones that people had never heard of.
Yeah.
Or, like, it took genuinely about 4 karaoke songs before we were like, oh, I think I've heard of this one before.
Yeah.
And all the ones that they had chosen before weren't just ones we hadn't heard of, but like still a bit upbeat. Like, they were just slow, like boring ones.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the best. So we were like, do you know what? We're going to change this. We got up, had another drink, and then Charlie, our videographer, shout out Charlie Roxburgh. It's Roxburgh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roxburgh.
He's like a singer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like an artist as well. And he basically was like, right, I'm going to perform Valerie by Amy Winehouse. And we're like, oh, that's a banger. And he's a great singer, so it's gonna go off, basically. Big up vocals, big up Amy Winehouse,
Oh my God.
big up karaoke, big up Charlie. It's gonna go off.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason...
That's why that reminded me of the... What's going on, everyone? It's Alex, the apparent quiet one from Love Island. I'm gonna be here and it's gonna go off.
Oh, gross. And yeah, Charlie just kept not getting his request taken. And then about 20 minutes after he'd put that request in and he was patiently waiting for his name to be called out, I just went and requested to sing Super Trooper, and it happened within like 5 minutes.
But also, he'd been waiting for about half hour, and then somebody else came on and sang Valerie.
Yes, it was so great. And then all that you were saying was like, oh, I hope that his is picked right after it, so that it's just not as impactful. That would have been so great. But we did Super Trooper. That was great. That was me on lead vocals, Maisie and Andrew on backing. And then Charlie, eventually, someone felt sorry for him. Were they called like Dane? It was someone, because you kept saying their
right,
name.
it began with a D, yes.
You kept saying their name in a Scouse accent. You were like, how was Dale?
Dale, it
You're
was
like,
Dale.
how the fuck has Dale got up before
How
Charlie?
the fuck has Dale got on before Charlie? Charlie's been waiting ages. And Dale's come out in fucking nowhere.
So this random guy called Dale, who was very lovely, let Charlie come up and do it with him. But what was the name of the song?
I don't know, because it was...
The ketchup song.
Oh, yeah, it's
That's what it was,
Ketchup
yeah.
song.
And it's all
Yeah.
in Spanish.
Yeah.
So Charlie wanted an opportunity to like show off his vocals.
What's the...
I can't remember.
I said, hey.
Oh,
yeah.
A heavy to the heavy, say
But
you
they're all
know,
it's like...
yeah. So
But
Charlie was singing that.
It's easier to sing when you haven't got the lyrics in front of you, because if the lyrics
You can
are in
make it
front
up.
of you,
Yeah.
No one will
you
know.
try to
Yeah, that's so
actually
true.
follow it. It's Asedeche, Debre, Sheche, Boracham.
Yeah. Maybe. Close. So Charlie was basically just getting violated over and over
Yeah, he
again.
used his slot as like Duolingo instead of actually learning, instead of actually doing a karaoke song.
And then we all sang Teenage Dream together by
Yeah.
Katy Perry, and that was lovely.
That was a moment.
And I'd say at like maybe the peak had just passed of when we were having fun in the bar, and it was starting to dip a little bit.
Yeah.
But like it was still okay. Charlie was like adamant, we need to go to this other bar that is incredible. That's such a good bar.
Yeah.
And it's just down the road, and it's really great. We need to go. To which we were all like, "Oh, are you sure? Because this is quite full as far as the bar
Yeah.
goes on a Tuesday evening. It's quite full."
Vibe was good.
And we're having a good time. Like everyone's dancing. He was like, "No, guys, you don't get it. We need to go." We left, went to the bar,
Yeah.
and it can only be described as, do you know that TikTok that's like, this perfectly sums up British pubs?
Yeah.
And
Oh
like it's
my
all the
God.
different characters, and there's that guy who's like,
I said it was it was like we walked into like a GTA lobby,
Literally.
and we were in like a GTA nightclub, and everyone was in their custom skins. I
Literally,
walked
bro.
in, and absolutely nobody in there made sense. There was walk in, and there's this peculiar looking woman,
Very
a guy
peculiar.
with really long hair and a cowboy hat.
oh yeah.
Who else was in there?
There was a Donny with sunglasses on, kind of just doing that
a
on
kid
his
who was
own.
Oh,
clearly
yeah.
like 16,
Yeah.
who had like aviators on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just such an interesting group of people.
It was so funny.
No one matched together. It looked like everyone was there on their own.
Yeah.
It was
Um,
hilarious. And then I remembered as soon as we got there that I had once been physically thrown out of that bar as well.
Really?
Like years ago, yeah. Because I went into the girls' bathroom to go get my friend, and the bouncer just walked in, physically picked me off the ground and threw me onto the street. So I didn't have the best memories at that place. But it was a resounding this bar is not better than the other place.
It was very enjoyable.
You were just pissed off that you didn't get to like show off your vocals, so you had like a vendetta against the bar, which is hilarious in itself. So instead we left that, and then I went home with Andrew, and you went to, where did you go?
Neon Cactus.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
That's the name of the place.
Yeah.
Fair.
And Callum was loving it. Apparently, I missed it, but Callum was in his element.
I really was.
In it with all the Donnies.
Because we found out since the last time that more people have been on this bus than our driver is the
He
least.
drip feeds information. It's pissing me off.
He's the least clout chasing person ever.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he really is.
Like he's not there to name drop, even though he's probably got the best list of name drops.
yeah.
Easily.
He could go
Easily.
for. And Kendrick Lamar apparently has stayed in this bus.
So that means that in the bed that I'm sleeping in, Kendrick Lamar, Lady Gaga, Peter Kay, Johnny Depp, Lewis Capaldi, and
there's more as well. There's
drag
way
queen
more.
Trixie Mattel, the most famous drag queen in the world, arguably, has also slept in this bed.
RuPaul, I'd say.
No, yeah, RuPaul is the most famous, but RuPaul has not slept in this bed, so whatever. But that is a mad list.
It's crazy, and that's just this
That's
bus.
just the tip of the iceberg. We don't even know how many people. He's also been the driver for Prince back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coldplay. He was one of Coldplay's first like tour drivers. He told us a few stories that we can't say, but like the first thing he said, he was like, this shows how early days it was when he went to pick them up.
He shagged all of Coldplay.
When he went to pick them up for the first time, they were like loading their own guitars and their own gear into the back and shit like that, and it was literally just the band and then like their manager, and that was it.
And now they just hate everybody and get them all to load all their stuff on.
Yeah, and now he's got the
Shout out
Useless
you,
Hotline.
Coldplay. I know you watch.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Our driver is so cool.
Unbelievable.
Sorry guys, I keep you away. Really cool day. Big up Dave, big up Tour Bus, big up Lewis Capaldi, big up Lady Gaga, big up Trixie Mattel, big up Peter Kay, big up Johnny Depp, big up Kendrick Lamar.
Shout out Kendrick Lamar.
That is wild, guys.
That's nuts.
That is pretty cool.
I'm going to ask him later.
I could have. One of these users on this PlayStation could be Kendrick Lamar's user.
Kendrick
That's
Lamar's
so true.
probably played on these controllers.
That's
I've
wild.
probably played the same level of Uncharted.
I bet he
Kendrick
played
Lamar has
Uncharted as
played.
well, because this is the only good game they've got.
Do you think that Kendrick Lamar is eating a Greg's on this bus?
I don't know. If I'd go
No,
that far.
because one of the things that David was telling us was like Kendrick had like hotels at all these cities, but he didn't want to leave the bus. And David was saying like some artists, they have the bus but they want to leave it all the time. Others just want to stay on it. Kendrick wanted to stay on, so they would pull the bus up to his hotel and order room service to the bus. Wow. So I don't think he was ordering
Can we
Greg's.
try that at the
I feel
Premier Inn?
like
At the
if I was-
Premier Inn.
If I was to order, if you're going to order something to the bus, obviously you have to pay for room service still. Surely you just get it delivered or something. You can get whatever the hell you want, as opposed to just.
Yeah.
It depends.
Kendrick, you're doing it wrong, pal.
Yeah, grow up, Kendrick. Come on. Yeah, but I mean that kind of brings us to dates, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're about to do our Leeds show.
We are.
We've got our Bristol show tomorrow, and then our big finale extravaganza London show this weekend, and then the tour's over.
Yeah, big time.
And guys, this is actually the last podcast that you're going to be getting from us for a while,
For season 1.
because it is the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Not saying that we're coming back for a season 2 though. We're just saying it's the end of season 1, and maybe you've got some really fun, exciting, different content going to be on this channel over the next 2 weeks. What do you think it's going to be, George?
Such enjoyable things. I don't know. It could be perhaps a mukbang.
Oh, but probably not.
No, I
maybe
don't
some,
think so.
maybe
Something a little bit better than that.
yeah, maybe
Um,
something like a
bag of loose ketchup.
change, maybe, or a vlog of the
Oh.
entire tour that's going to be split into 2 parts
That
over the
could
next
be
2
good.
weeks. Going to be on this
Ooh,
channel.
yes. Ooh.
Before we come back to the podcast with season 2 and a brand new set.
Season 2, because hey, we might be white guys, but we don't lack seasoning.
No, we don't quite. Oh, okay, I like that.
didn't mind that.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
alright.
that was quite good. So anything else that you want to say?
That was to if they know, they know.
Okay. Okay. Right. End it on a flare up. Nice. You are mental. You've lost it on this tour. Honestly, I think every day a little bit more of your brain just falls out your ass or something.
No, don't be silly. I'm living and I'm.
See? Right, okay. Right.
I've got to go.
Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us all of that stuff, and we will be back in 3 weeks? 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
We'll be back in an amount of weeks with a different thing for your face.
So, lots of love, and we'll see you then, baby. Thank you very much for everyone who came to see us on tour. Love you.
Thanks, guys. Much love. Love, peace, and Tesco's.